I'm at the Albany train station. Not really a surprise. I come here often. Today my trip is going to be a bit longer. I probably should have actually started from Corvallis to show the entire trip. Where's my destination? Here's a hint. Led Zeppelin and LL Cool J both wrote songs about it. Not much of a mystery. Also, as far as times to start my trip, this is not one of the most attractive. One of the grimmest and coolest and darkest days of the year. So kind of a bummer, but I should be in some warmer climates or slightly sunnier climates soon. Not much else to say. Other than I wanted to show what my snack stash was like for this trip. So this is for like 24 hours. And so, brought a lot of food because it's surprisingly hungry being on the train. And I had to bring a separate bag because my backpack is full of all the USB cables and warm socks. The train will be coming from that direction. And it will be going that direction. The train is scheduled to get here at about 4:15 and it's 10 minutes late. And the sun today sets between 4:30 and 4:40. So basically there will be 10 minutes of daylight, if you want to call this daylight, before the sun goes down. And there will still be a little bit of light after that, but not a lot. So, like I said, it's getting close to the middle of winter. It's kind of a grim day. So the scenery, which we've seen before many times, I won't actually be able to show much of it, especially south of Eugene. Well, there's our train coming in. I've shown this before. I think the last time was like not even a week ago. So, getting on this train soon! So right now I'm on the train. The boarding was quick, and this is kind of what I have a view. A freight yard at dusk. That's it for now. Leaving Albany, looking out the left side. And this is what Albany looks like along the train tracks. It's going to look like this for a while. It's already getting blurry. We're not even to Eugene yet. This is Eugene. Been here many times. It's odd for me because it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's the middle of the night. And I'm thinking of the times I was here in the summer and it was already, or it was still, thinking of the times I was here in the summer and it was still like, 85 degrees and the sun was way up in the sky. Anyway, so I'm jumping right back on the train. The lounge is mostly empty at this time of the trip. And that's what we can see outside the window. We could be going through a tunnel right now, or it could just be dark out. Updates. There are no updates. If you ever want to finish a book that's been on your table for a while, taking a train ride is a great way to catch up on your reading. This is Humboldt. There's a lot of snow here. Humboldt is a pretty minor stop. There's your 200 or 300 people who live here. Main purpose is as a point for people to continue on to Crater Lake. Other than that, what we see here is Humboldt. There are some people getting on here. Probably people who are skiing or doing some type of resort thing. It's time for dinner. I got something different. This blue corn and veggie tamale. And of course, Snickers bar and Diet Coke. It's only 9 o'clock, but it feels like it's 3 a.m. because we're like in the dark woods and we have been for hours. And even though I brought food, it's kind of part of the ritual. Silly ritual, maybe. This is Klamath Falls. Key facts to know about Klamath Falls is it's cold. Other things to consider is that it's cold. It's 10 o'clock. So actually in May when I was here it was still light out, but now it's pretty late at night and it's pretty cold. Just stretching my legs, and not for long because I want to get back on there. And at this point I'm like halfway to the halfway point, the quarter point of my journey. And like I said before, I wish I could come back to Klamath Falls someday. But this is all I've seen of it is the train platform. And I'm going to jump back on the train in a minute. Also, for 10 o'clock on the night, you know, in a small town, it's pretty busy, you know, people getting off and on. Some of these people are just taking a break, but it's actually a busy stop because there's no airport here. Bus service is hard, so this is the way to get in and out of Klamath Falls. So it's after midnight. The lounge car is mostly empty. Because I'm sharing a seat with somebody, I was just been in here resting. And it's kind of, for me, it's interesting because at home, a lot of times getting to bed is kind of difficult. I have to have everything quiet, have to wait for a while. But, you know, this little cramped room, like lying down on these chairs with people walking by with noise, it's actually quite restful for me. So I'm going to go try to sleep some more. And this is Chico, so getting close to Sacramento. I've pretty much just been half sleeping in the lounge. This is what a lot of the trip is like. And it's dawn. Interesting red sky. We're still going forward. We're just outside of Sacramento. This is Sacramento, city I've been through many times and been in once or twice. The sun is up, day's started, and I don't really have anything clever to say. This is Sacramento, so we're not quite in the Bay Area, but we're really close. And this is just a fresh air stop, so I'm about to jump back on that train. And there's a lot of trains here because the Capital Corridor service goes through here. So along with this long distance train, there's a lot of other trains in and around the tracks. Davis Station, and it looks like there's a fair amount of people getting on here. This is our last stop before Martinez. I just got off the train in Martinez, California. East Bay. At least it's the East Bay to me. Downtown Martinez, discover the charm. I will. I'm going to find out where my bus will be loading. So a reason why I'm doing this, actually, so where I'm going, Humboldt County, is directly west of Redding, where I was some hours ago. And it's 100 miles in linear miles between Redding and Arcata, but it's a very difficult way to go. So what happens is I'm actually taking a 400-mile detour. This is where I'll stop and include a map. And so we go all this way just because the cutoff is that quick. Also, a lot of people who are taking this bus are not going to go that far north. They're going to Santa Rosa, which is really kind of the limit of what would normally be the San Francisco Bay Area. I think this is my bus, but it's not going to leave for 90 minutes. So to put it in European terms, to go from Redding to Arcata by way of Martinez is like going from London to Bristol by way of Paris, and in eastern US terms it would be like going from Boston to Springfield by way of New York, more or less. And the reason I'm doing this, you know, other than taking another route if I could find one, is also because I just want to visit the East Bay, visit the Bay Area. And it is a nice train ride. It will be a pretty nice bus ride. Because otherwise, yeah, it's 24 hours and about half of those are this detour. But as you can see, Martinez is a nice place. Winter and it's foggy, but it's still a lot warmer than it would be if I was back in Oregon walking around. I'm not wearing gloves. So I have 75 minutes to see Martinez, and let's see what we can see. So these hills to the west of town are a natural area, and they go on for miles and miles, and they separate this town from Oakland and Berkeley in the East Bay. But from my viewpoint, this is still the East Bay, although from people from San Francisco and Oakland, this is probably a little town out in the middle of nowhere. We might be in Roseville, Placerville. From the times I've been here before, this has like a nice main street with dining, that type of thing. House sparrows are still active, which they wouldn't be in Oregon. So there's a lot going on here, only not on a foggy Thursday morning in December. So, like many places I go, I have to give this disclaimer: you're not seeing it at its best. But it's a change of scenery for me, so it's interesting. Also of note, birthplace of the martini. There's a story there. The martini is named after the city of Martinez, is the story. Like many things, the exact details are lost to history, but that is the story. Oh, this seems like a nice little park. I might stop here and have a little bit of food, then continue on. I only have another 60 minutes before I have to get on that bus. Looks like there was another park I missed, an even better park. So far, Martinez looks like has a lot of really pleasant things. Nice, cute little town. Don't know a lot more about it, but it's certainly nice to visit. Well, that's some impressive architecture, but I don't have a reason to go in. So I'm going to go and just return to the train station. This was just a brief walk around Martinez, which has a lot of nice architecture from different eras, has a lot of small businesses dining, and I just saw a section of it. Wish I could see more, but for today I'm going to the north. Just pulling out of the station now is Amtrak California, the Capital Corridor, which goes mostly from Sacramento down into Oakland, probably for a combination of daily commuters and less frequent commuters. And one thing about the Bay Area is it has a lot of different transit systems. So for example, this is Amtrak California, goes from Sacramento to Oakland, but San Francisco to San Jose, for example, is Caltrain. And I would be really curious to know the history of like why they have all these different transit systems. Is it logistical or jurisdictional? But maybe that question's a little bit complicated. I've been up all night and I'm just waiting for my bus. And the train is pulling out.
Risk at your own risk. Using the restroom in a public transportation vehicle. Whenever you are out of your seats and out of your seat belts, all seats are equipped with seat belts. By law, you have to have your seat belt on at all times while you were on the coach. Amtrak wants us to start mentioning it and enforcing it as much as we possibly can for your safety. This coach is equipped with seat belts on every seat. You must have your seat belt on at all times.
We aren't that far outside of Martinez in the San Francisco Bay Area. Well, we're still in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's already turned into farmlands, in this case vineyards. Also famously somewhere around here, not too far from here, the famous Windows XP desktop image was taken. Don't know what that red thing is, sculpture or functional. Anyway, there will be a lot of vineyards for the next 100 miles. So right here, there's some type of road construction, and we've been starting and stopping for a while. So the road I'm on right now is like a two-lane country road. It's also the major like cutoff road between Martinez and Highway 101. So it's way overburdened, and that's common here because even though we're in the middle of farmland, this is also in the middle of a major metropolis. So problems with traffic. I don't know what else to say about all these vineyards, just that, yeah, there's going to be about 100 more miles of this. Now we're in Petaluma. This here is the train station, or a train platform for the commuter rail that goes up to Santa Rosa from Marin County, from San Rafael. And other than that, we're just in, I guess, stereotypical California suburb now. We just passed north out of Santa Rosa without stopping to save some time. And Santa Rosa is kind of the end of the San Francisco Bay Area. At least that's usually how I think of it. And, you know, kind of the end of continuous suburbanization that goes from Marin County to Santa Rosa. And then there will be a few other towns along the way, but like we're kind of fading out. But it's kind of interesting because we're still, I'm like seeing office buildings in the middle of fields and still, you know, suburban houses like here. So not quite done with the built up part, but getting there soon.
Arriving in Cloverdale.
So this is the Cloverdale train station, train platform. I'm not quite sure if it's active, if the Smart Line, the rail line from San Rafael, has been extended up this far, but I know that was in planning, and there is a transit center here. And it's kind of funny because I keep on saying, okay, this is the end of the Bay Area, and then I see one more sign that, you know, we're still in the wider net of that area. But as you can see, not a lot of people here. It's not like a bustling transit stop. And pretty soon we're climbing the mountains out of Sonoma and into Mendocino County. It's 1:30. Bus set off at 10:30. It's been 3 hours now. And we're still in the wine country, so still in this part of Northern California. Not in the heavily forested redwood part. And Ukiah, which is where we are now, we'll stop and eat, which is good. Other than that, I know it's like not too spectacular, still freeways and warehouses and sheds. Hopefully I'll get a better view at some point. My bus is stopped in Ukiah, right outside of JCPenney's. A JCPenney's that's freestanding, which is kind of a new and different thing for me. And in general, this is probably not the most historic and charming part of Ukiah. You know, it's a little plaza mall, and the reason we're stopping is for food, a little bit of a leg break, a leg stretching break, no broken legs. I'm gonna go to Subway. And Ukiah, even though like it's a small town, I don't know the exact population, should have looked that up, but you can tell it's a city where this is, you know, the main shopping district, which seems pretty small after, you know, I just got out of the cluster of San Francisco. But compared to what we're going to see in the next 2 hours, this is the last big city we're going to see. You know, we are going to be going through a place where there's no type of chain restaurants and stuff until really we get to the Eureka area. So this is, you know, I keep on saying this is the last gasp of the California that you think of, or that you may be thinking of. And I had more to say about that, but it's only a half-hour break and I want to go to Subway. So this is a bus stop both for local buses, although some of those local buses go, I don't know, 20 or 30 miles or more, like some of them go all the way to the coast from here, and of course the Amtrak bus. So from here, if you wanted to, and if you had about like 6 hours, you could get to San Francisco by local buses. I don't know if it's 6 hours, but it's probably there. So again, like this is where we're still kind of in the network of the Bay Area, and that will break down really when we cross the next pass. Anyway, I ate a Subway sandwich, which was, you know, when you're traveling, that's the equivalent of healthy food, you know, some type of fiber and green leafy vegetables. But no really reason to be hanging out in this parking lot. Like I said, not the best side of Ukiah. So I'm going to get back on my bus. There's not much to see, but that's something to see in itself. So we transferred out of kind of the oak forest, the chaparral, into like more of a Pacific Northwest pine forest. And there's still going to be some oaks, but the landscape did change in like, I don't know, 20 or 30 miles. And also, there's a lot of rain. There was rain before, but now there's like coast range and winter rain, because it is the coast range in winter. Okay, sorry that it's blurry. It's going to go on this like this for another... It goes on like this for a while. After a while, I can't remember how long I've been doing this. And we aren't to Humboldt County yet. I think we're still in Mendocino County. But I believe this hill and this here, this is the canyon of the Eel River, which goes for quite a while, I believe. I'm not sure about that. A lot of different rivers rain. They're very prone to mudslides. And Highway 101 here does twist and turn a lot, which is why the journey is even longer than it seems. Also too steep to really have towns here, so it will be a while between towns. And all of that is a reason why there's a bus here, because you can't take a train. So that's why there's the Amtrak bus here. And the mountains on the other side are even higher, which is, like I said earlier, you can't really come from Redding to Arcata. So we're taking this gigantic detour. And yes, it is a rainy day out. There's a lot of canyons like this to pass through or pass by. Also, for context, right now it's 3:30 in the afternoon. And now we've reached a point where there's redwood trees on the side of the forest, so a lot of shade, and it's the middle of winter. There's high canyons, so it seems like, you know, nighttime. But now this is just after Garberville, which would have been interesting to record, but I was asleep. I've been asleep off and on, you know, on this ride, and you know, since a lot of it looks like this, I don't really know what I'm missing. And this will go on for a while longer. We aren't out of the woods yet. These little towns here are along the Avenue of the Giants, which is a road that passes parallel to 101 through the redwood forests. Very beautiful road, but also very remote. So that was the town, and then it was gone, and now we're back to up a little bit. But still close to dark. Beautiful. I always forget just how long this route is. I think I'm towards the end, and then I realize there's like 2 more hours. Well, here I am at my final destination, and after all of that rain, there's this rainbow to greet me, and it leads to the Dollar Tree. Really a pot of gold there. Actually, you know, even though this area can be very wet, we're further south that we actually get a little bit more daylight here. Maybe only 20 or 30 minutes a day, but it does add up. And this is Fortuna in Humboldt County. A land of contrasts. And I'll be saying more about it in future videos, although I'll probably be uploading them all at the same time. And so this is Fortuna, and yeah, I made my journey. Right now I'm kind of tired. I can't think of anything else to say about it, other than I'm glad to be here.